War ends, soldiers go home, but not empty-handed. For many men returning from the chaos of World War II, a duffel bag held more than uniforms and rations. Hidden in false pockets, wrapped in socks, or stuffed into ammo tins were souvenirs that could have landed them in a military prison. This isn't a story about medals or memories. It's about 7 forbidden treasures smuggled across borders, each with its own tale of risk, rebellion, and human curiosity. Few wartime trophies were as coveted as captured weapons. A German Luger P-08, a Japanese Nambu pistol, or an MP-40 submachine gun symbolized victory, a personal proof of having faced the enemy. But these guns were strictly banned from being brought home without documentation. Many soldiers disassembled them, hiding the barrel inside one boot, the grip in another, or slipping the trigger assembly into their mess kit. Some even mailed them piece by piece through military post under false return addresses. Getting caught could mean court-martial or confiscation, but many took the risk anyway. Why? Because for them, a captured pistol wasn't just a weapon, it was a story in steel. The swastika became one of the most looted symbols of the war. From armbands to banners ripped from bombed-out buildings, soldiers viewed them as proof of victory over tyranny. Yet by 1945, U.S. military police were cracking down on men shipping home enemy propaganda. Many soldiers disguised these items as fabric samples or souvenir cloth. Some even went so far as to stitch swastika patches inside their uniforms to sneak them past inspection. Ironically, these banned symbols later became historical artifacts, now displayed in museums and family attics across the world. In some cases, soldiers even swapped insignia with allied comrades, creating a strange underground trade in emblems of destruction. What was once forbidden now serves as a chilling reminder of what they fought to destroy. When armies overran occupied territories, chaos followed, and so did temptation. Soldiers found themselves surrounded by abandoned valuables, coins, watches, and gold trinkets left behind in wrecked homes and looted banks. Military law forbade personal enrichment, but black markets thrived on the fringes of every army base. Gold teeth, coins, and jewelry were traded for cigarettes or food, then secretly shipped home wrapped in socks or sealed in coffee tins. Some soldiers even melted gold into crude ingots and hid them in weapon parts to avoid detection. Others mailed money home disguised as letters or hid coins inside hollowed-out shaving brushes. These treasures became dark reminders of the blurred lines between survival and morality in wartime. For some it was greed, for others it was survival. One of the most surprisingly illegal items, silk. Parachutes, especially Japanese ones, were made of high-quality silk, a luxury material that was, honestly, nearly impossible to buy during wartime. Soldiers cut them into scarves, dresses, and even wedding gowns for sweethearts back home. Technically, this was theft of military property, punishable by fines or imprisonment. But, who could resist turning a parachute that once saved a life into something beautiful? The black market value of a single silk chute was enormous, enough to trade for weeks of rations or cigarettes. Some soldiers even dyed the fabric and used it to make makeshift hammocks, curtains, or even baby clothes once they returned home. From battlefield tool to symbol of love, silk became the war's softest contraband. Taking a piece of the enemy's uniform was a popular, and dangerous, form of souvenir hunting. Helmets, daggers, medals, even SS tunics were prized trophies, but these items were banned from transport, as they could be mistaken for disguises or propaganda. Still, soldiers found ways flattening helmets in their packs, wearing jackets under overcoats, or mailing uniforms labeled as rags. Some even wore captured hats during off-duty photos, small acts of mockery against the defeated enemy. To them, it wasn't about glorifying the enemy, it was about owning a tangible piece of history, something that proved they'd been there and survived what few could imagine. German Leica and Zeiss cameras were the envy of the world. Soldiers scavenged them from abandoned bunkers and officer quarters, often risking punishment to keep one. Cameras were contraband not because of their value, but because of what they contained. Undeveloped rolls of film showing destroyed cities, enemy technology, or classified battle scenes. Smuggling one home meant potentially leaking military secrets. Still, thousands of these cameras survived, and many iconic World War II photos we see today were taken with them, illegally, by soldiers who just couldn't let history fade. Others sold the cameras after the war, using the profits to start new lives. A fitting twist of fate for devices that once captured humanity at its worst. In the chaos of retreat and injury, morphine syrettes, small morphine injectors used in the field, were sometimes pocketed by soldiers. Painkillers, antibiotics, even sulfa powder were life-saving commodities that could fetch a high price back home. But this wasn't always about greed. Many soldiers took medical supplies as a safeguard, fearing another war or post-war scarcity. Some gave them to wounded civilians or used them during long journeys home. Still, it was contraband, and possession could mean serious trouble if discovered. For men who had seen the worst, though, the thought of being prepared for pain again felt worth the risk. To modern eyes, smuggling these items might seem reckless, but to men who'd lived through years of fear and deprivation, these weren't just souvenirs, they were proof that they'd survived. A pistol represented victory, a silk parachute symbolized luck, a camera held stolen memories. These small acts of defiance reflected something deeply human, the need to carry home a piece of meaning from a world gone mad. For many, these forbidden trinkets were their only way to make sense of what they had endured. Today, those illegal items sit in attics, museums, and family trunks. Each tells a story not only of war, but of what it means to be human, to want to remember, to own, to carry a piece of history. Whether it was a pocketful of stolen silk, a melted gold coin, or a disassembled pistol, these objects remind us that even in war people seek connection, something tangible to prove they were there, that it was real. Each smuggled item is a fragment of memory, a quiet rebellion against the machinery of war. So, what do you think was the most dangerous item to smuggle? The pistol, the money, or the insignia? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're fascinated by the untold, rule-breaking history of World War II, be sure to subscribe and check out my video on World War II's forbidden gear right here.